Welcome to the Ecommerce Marketing Podcast, the highly rated digital marketing podcast that provides weekly digital marketing tips and strategies from some of the world's top digital marketers and e-commerce entrepreneurs that will help you take your digital marketing to the next level. Sit back and enjoy this power-packed episode hosted by Arlen Robinson, who is an e-commerce entrepreneur and digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience. Hey, e-commerce marketing podcast listener. Are you looking to increase traffic and sales to your website? You can do this by launching your own affiliate program. Just visit getosi.com and sign up for a free trial today. That's getosi.com. Now get ready to hear from your e-commerce marketing expert of the week as they drill down to give you details on marketing strategies that can help grow your business.
Welcome back to the E-commerce Marketing Podcast, everyone. My name is Arlen and I am your host. And today we have a very special guest, Blake Van Leer, who is an executive and entrepreneur with extensive experience in growth strategies, revenue lift, team building, strategic acquisitions, business development, sales processes, customer retention, brand development, ROI, e-commerce, and AI tool management. He is currently the EVP and GM of Proto AI's e-commerce division, a first of its kind AI product which helps online retailers increase revenue and conversions through auto optimizing product recommendations while personalizing the customer journey. Welcome to the podcast, Blake.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Arlen. And
no problem. And we appreciate having you on. I'm super excited to talk to you. And from reading your intro, you definitely, I guess, over the years, have kind of had your hands involved in a lot of things. A lot of aspects of this kind of whole tech world, which is great. I think that just gives your the experience that you've had is definitely, I know, given the business that you're in right now. Leg up on things when you have that amount of experience for sure. But, today I'm really excited to talk to you because we're going to be talking about really kind of an area that's, your bread and butter, which is the next generation of AI in e-commerce. How does this whole boom of AI benefit e-commerce businesses? What are some things that they can do? How can they benefit from these? And I know we're going to be diving deep into that, and you're going to shed some light that can definitely help guide e-commerce businesses. But before we do get into all of that, if you don't mind telling us a little bit more about your background and specifically how you got into what you're doing today.
Sure. Yeah. It's as you said earlier, I've always been involved with some sort of tech. Right before this call, I know we were talking earlier. In college, I was, studying like business analytics, but to help pay for tuition and get some walking around money, I was doing a lot of affiliate marketing. So setting up quick sites, and this kind of dates me. But I was doing sites where it would be 1,000 words and white text on a white background, rank that quickly to number one on Google, and make some quick affiliate.
Those were the good old days.
Exactly. Yeah. If only. Well, it seems like we might be there again briefly with ChatGPT.
Right.
Yeah. So I started companies, failed companies, and just kind of had a bit of an entrepreneurial journey or intropreneur, if you will, working for some big companies, launching verticals. And just if it's, if it is a big company or a small company, I've always kind of been drawn to something that's new and exciting from a technical aspect, and kind of try to help out where I can. And constant testing. And, I had a company, and this well-to-do lady named Kathy Ireland, who's a great mentor of mine, had some equity stake in. It was a prop tech company. And so I kind of just got lucky eventually, like right place, right time, where she would pull me into some of her partnership meetings, which would be, her partners are anywhere from Macys, AmFam, so a bit of InsurTech, and a lot of big retail brands. And so we look at it from a
Yeah.
tech stack perspective. So it was on
Okay.
that side of the fence. And then I met this very talented team of data scientists and founders that have worked with like the Pentagon, Microsoft, senior positions at those companies and those entities. And they're like, "Hey, Blake, what are you doing? It's post the pandemic." And I'm like, "I don't know. It's the pandemic." They're like, "Well, we got some breakthrough science. Let's
Okay.
help us launch this company." So I lead up the commerce division, obviously coming from commerce, and I was excited to help them.
Okay,
And
great,
so
great.
here
Yeah,
we
that's
are.
that's some awesome stuff, man. It's a good opportunity. And yeah, a lot of things took off during the pandemic. Of course, a lot of businesses failed, unfortunately. A lot of things shut down. But yeah, I mean, a lot of things I have definitely heard other stories like you said, where people kind of got ideas, when you're not out and about, you're not traveling, you can kind of retool things, so to speak, and get some ideas together, launch things. So it was a good time for people to kind of take a time out and kind of look at their direction and maybe look at some different opportunities that they may not have been able to explore before because they were so busy, just maintaining what they had. So it's good to see that you're able to get onto that opportunity. And Kathy Ireland, if I'm not mistaken, was she the supermodel, if I'm not mistaken?
Right, exactly. Most featured Sports Illustrated model. And then after that was the first to kind of say, she was the first to say, look, hey, if you're going to put my name on a pair of socks or
Yeah.
some kind of apparel brand,
Gotcha.
I want 5%. So she was like the
Oh, wow.
first licensor that trailblazed that
Okay.
that
That's
whole
some
industry.
good stuff. Yeah, I didn't know
Yep.
she was right. The one that really kind of trailblazed for other, celebrities and other supermodels, under or behind her to come up and be able to do that, where they weren't just out there plugging products and not really earning too much from that, but they were able to get a percentage of it. So yeah, that's some really good stuff, and I'm always glad to hear people leading the way, like that. Well, as I mentioned at the top of the episode, of course, today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence and how it relates to e-commerce. And where I want to start the discussion today is really if you can just explain how you think at this point artificial intelligence is currently reshaping the e-commerce industry from kind of what you've seen.
I'll try to quick summary. I think that could take up a lot of time.
Right.
Obviously, it's such a there's a lot. Anything from supply chain, omni-channel, visual content generation, optimization. I think where you're seeing a lot now, where we're kind of getting into the second inning, if you will, is a lot of people being trained to manage AI within their tech stack. And so, it's not necessarily replacing like all jobs. It's not end all be all. We're not there yet, but they have like new positions where people are, you're starting to see those new titles, kind of similar to when social media went through, where, it might, instead of social media manager, it's AI engineer prompt
Yeah.
person, where they're just managing prompts. Another field is optimization, and so you're seeing a lot of those kind of come to play. And where AI, I think, is helping them a lot is especially optimization, like just having it there as your data analyst, if you will. So they're helping you with your A/B test, your how do I get conversion list, how do people, if they like this, will they like this, and how do I pair all those things together, and you look at user flow, or quickly need some content, so I need that tool within my tech
really good
stack.
stuff. Yeah, and I like that new job title, if you will, AI prompt manager. And I think you're right. I mean, that really is a new position. I mean, because a lot of what people have been doing previously can be done by this AI, but the AI is not going to just run itself. You got to prompt it. You got to prompt it effectively. And that's kind of what I've seen. We're on our end here at OSI Affiliate Software, we've been using Chat GPT with a lot of the things we're doing as far as helping us with our messaging and just with a lot of variety of ways to help our process flow. And of course, research is another big thing as well. It's opened up a lot. You know, it's not all doom and gloom. You know, a lot of times people they're painting this whole light on it as being, you know, AI is going to take over the world and it's going to replace everyone. No one's going to be able to work. Yeah, it's not quite like that. These things don't run themselves. I mean, they have to be coded. They have to be prompted. You know, there's a whole team behind OpenAI that has got it to this point. And, you know, and in order to get it to that next level, there's got to be, you know, another group of people or more people that have to be involved to really get this thing to, you know, higher levels and where it, you know, it can be. So it's definitely opened up a lot of opportunities.
Exactly.
I think. And so as far as AI is concerned, and as far as like e-commerce is concerned, you know, I think the main question is with a lot of e-commerce businesses is, okay, bottom line is, you know, how can this help me with my sales? How can this help improve getting people to my site, getting people to convert? That's the ultimate bottom line questions most e-commerce businesses have. And so in what ways do you think AI can contribute to just optimizing the customer's journey in online retail?
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of there's a lot of tools out there. You know, there's content generators. You know, at our company, we're focused on you're there on the site. So it's not how to get you there, but you are there, and you're optimizing or personalizing that journey. Right now, for especially with the SMB and the mid-tier market, AI companies that are focused on that part of it, you know, require you to have a certain threshold of data or sales volume, and so we've made this solution just for them in particular, where you don't have to require a lot of data to start to get lift and for the AI to actually work. You know, a example we use a lot. If you go shop on like most sites and you look up, say, like a toilet seat, you generally get followed around the web or throughout the customer journey with more toilet seats, and you know, otherwise you have a tool where typically you're manually inserting other recommendations, and so where an AI should help and where ours helps is it's doing that for you in real time within seconds, and so it's pivoting like, okay, we know this person wanted that toilet seat, they found it, but what are the other things that they might want? You know, you might see a lot of, if you look at personalization, you might see a lot of complete the look or similar to or more people bought this. It's very either based on trends. So it might be like a pseudo or, you know, a slightly smart recommendation tool they pulled off the shelf with their platform, but it's not giving them real time feedback. It's not monitoring their behavior and then offering new products to, you know, get that conversion lift for their journey. And the quicker they find that, you know, that's really what they're after too. That's another big purpose of AI is for people to find what they're looking for quicker. And so that's where I see that being a, you know, big play with optimization.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all of those things, you know, I think combined when it comes down to it with e-commerce businesses, especially these days, because there's such, you know, there's so much more competition. You know, part of it was spawned by the pandemic where companies or players that weren't in the e-commerce space jumped in it. People that were already in the e-commerce space really looked at their whole situation and said, okay, wait a minute, you know, this is going to be the only way we're going to sell things. We got to get our act together. And so, it became so much more important, people getting to their site, finding what they need in a short amount of time, standing out apart from your competitors, and then, you know, just making that smooth journey to your customer funnel. And I think AI has really provided these businesses a lot of tools to be able to do that more effectively.
Exactly. And, you know, I'll just add to that, you know, look at any company that's had that classic growth where, you know, hey, they got to their first million in rev. You know, maybe they're doing 5, 10. You work with brands all the time in that category. And they're wearing so many hats. In the pandemic, it was kind of like a crash course, like learning how to pivot. You know, they had a small brick and mortar, and now I got to go online. Even some of the big boxes were like
Yeah.
doing the same journey.
Yeah.
Like, how do I quickly
Yeah.
compete
For sure.
online?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
even some of the
exactly.
big stores, the big box retailers, many of them still didn't make it. I was just reading about Bed Bath and Beyond, which is, they filed for bankruptcy. They're shutting down all their locations, which kind of surprised me. But I mean, not really, because I was familiar with the store. I was familiar with their whole online shop, and I kind of saw some of the holes early on. There was a lot of things I think it seemed like they were a little slow to make that transition from retail to online, and before they didn't really kind of have everything together and a solid e-commerce presence prior to the pandemic. And so after that, I mean, yeah, they just couldn't recover. I think that's really what it came down to, for sure.
Yeah, just I think that's a good
Yeah,
story. Slow to pivot.
exactly. With AI and customer journey, we kind of talked a lot about that and how that can improve that. A lot of it comes down to, when you're getting customers and trying to get customers to your site, it's going to come down to personalization. How can you personalize your messaging? So how do you think AI powered personalization can just help improve the customer's experience and just overall and boost the conversions, for an e-commerce business?
Yeah, I think personalization is great when they can, again, find what they're looking for quicker, or you can have it kind of fill that manual process where you still want a human to
Yeah.
monitor it, obviously. And I feel like a lot of humans would want to, just in case, and it makes sense with the customer's journey. If you look at like any site and they have those tabs, you see like recommended
Mm-hmm.
to, or here's the look. I think eventually that's where you want the AI
Mm-hmm.
to be there and to monitor those recommendations and personalization suggestions by the AI. I think where you don't want it to go
Right.
is too personal, because it's a bit like
Right.
creepy AI. And I feel
Yeah.
like, at least for now, a lot
Yeah.
of people
Yeah.
don't want that.
Exactly. Yeah, it can go too far. I mean, it's already whole personalization. It's already creepy. I mean, use the example of, at a basic level, you doing a search for toilet seats, going to a few sites, and then through retargeting, you start seeing ads for toilet seats everywhere you go. You're going to CNN, you're going to other sites, Best Buy, things like that. You're starting to see these ads for toilet seats. You're like, all right, wait a minute. And then you flip over to your social media, Instagram, you're starting to see that in your feed. And so it's like, all right, I don't remember searching at Instagram for this. Why is this showing up? So yeah, it's already a little creepy, but yeah, it's a kind of a fine line with
Yeah.
what you're, how far you're going to go with that personalization.
Right. I don't want to
Yeah.
see an ad that's like, Blake, I know you have a doctor's appointment,
Right.
and what do you think about this?
Yeah,
You're right.
that could be
Yeah,
a little scary.
exactly.
Now, speaking of kind of concerns that the public has with AI, these days, many customers, they also have concerns about, privacy, with the use of AI. You mentioned, healthcare and stuff like that. How do you think these concerns can actually be mitigated as we're moving forward and these things are collecting more data? How can they be mitigated in the context of just an online retail business?
Yeah, it was interesting. When I met
Mm-hmm.
the founders of this company, my first reaction was like, you're huge on the
Yeah.
SaaS e-com space. It's a great market, big data.
Mm-hmm.
How much can you capture? And they're like, Blake, those days are
Right.
numbered. This is years ago. Here we are. People don't want to share their data, and I think the best thing they can do, I'm speaking from
Sure.
like a merchant's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
is just be transparent. I think a lot of people, after the recent updates last year, they're trying to work with vendors or methods to be like
Mm-hmm.
almost like deploying like trickery. That really helps. I think it just be transparent, like, hey, we would like to personalize this for you. This helps us do that. You don't have to, but if you check this box, that kind of helps us do what we do better,
Yeah.
since you really like our brand. I think things like that go a long way with the consumer. And with our product, we don't ever need the personalization, the
Mm-hmm.
personal data. And so our merchants don't have to share any of their clients' data with us for our
Okay.
AI to work, which is great. And we made that with in mind. Is we're not asking people to opt in or anything like that. It's just based on
That's really good to know, because that's always a concern. I mean, it's been a concern prior to AI privacy and the use of data, and so it's good to know that at least you guys have kind of a handle on that. I wanted to see, because I'm always amazed every day. I'm on getting these recommendations for different YouTube videos about interesting ways people are using AI, Chat GPT, or whatever to not only for productivity but for marketing. So I wanted to see, could you share some examples of some innovative uses of AI in e-commerce specifically that you've been impressed with recently?
Yeah. For your audience, obviously, I'm biased towards ours, but 30%
Wow.
lift with our case studies. ChatGPT, obviously, I think we're in the Wild West, if you will. We're still figuring that out. It's very similar to any other technology breakthrough. Like you had search and social, and now you have like true AI breakthrough. It's important to break through what is pseudo AI. Like, are they a true AI company? Is it just like a plugin? But I think, generating content, there's some obvious great ones where if you learn how to manage it properly. For instance, like I'll have 50 some prompts with ChatGPT, and each one's learning, and I'm talking with it, trying to tell it about like the goals. But once you get there, I think content generation and even prompt quick inspiration for video content as well. That's an interesting breakthrough. Just seeing so much with the whole video space.
Definitely, for sure. Yeah, the video space is interesting also because there's already a ton of content out there video wise, and that's why I think it becomes challenging for any content creator in general, whether you're e-commerce business or not, to try to put out something that's unique and an original and or a different spin on something. And then that's where these AI tools like ChatGPT comes into play, because you can specifically prompt it that you're trying to make a video similar to this, but you don't want to make it be exactly on that specific topic. You want to have your own spin, and then it'll be able to give you just kind of countless iterations of something like that, which is kind of a unique spin on something that may already be out there.
Right. If you don't know how to manage it, there's a frequent statement we always kick around, like ChatGPT without managing, just like any AI tool or new solution, knowing like where to put it on the site. Like if you put ours just on like one page, just one single page, you maybe get a small percentage lift, but putting that throughout like the journey, you'll see more. Similar to ChatGPT, if you're kind of just like, give me this copy, I opened a store. ChatGPT writes a lot of content, but not a lot of content that we want to read.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So you do have to work a little.
It takes a lot of iterations, a lot of prompts, and you have to narrow things down. And it's, a combination of not only the prompt or the ChatGPT's feedback or whatever it's giving you. You're going to have to, put in your own ideas, tailor it, tweak it, because not everything is going to be correct or perfect. So, it's still... So I can do everything, that's for sure. You can't just sit back and just say, do this, come up with content. And then, unfortunately, it's not that easy, at least currently at this point. Well, Blake, as we get ready to wrap things up, I wanted to see what you thought, or how you think how do you see AI rather shaping the future of e-commerce, and particularly just in the next 5 to 10 year space?
Yeah, I think you'll see more brands, obviously more content. You're going to see a lot of people that, again, just look at the audience use it. You'll see some big enterprise like do some exciting things, but then I'm most interested in like the SMB, the mid-tier market, and seeing people be able to quickly pivot with brands. Like they have a really cool idea. And I think that's where AI comes in, is like, hey, you don't have to take out a quick SMB loan or friends and family money, or kind of like really scratch your head to launch something. And even a lot of folks that were always on the fence about launching something, but it's so daunting to them, they can now use AI and quickly create a
Yeah.
logo, create a brand, and really test it. So I think you might even see like an increase just within that whole, kind of mid-tier
Yeah,
entrepreneur
yeah, you're right. I
category.
mean, the time to market period is definitely lessened with this type of stuff. Like you said, from the logo creation to just initial ideas of initial content and even product specific details about a particular product that you're looking to put out there or service. I mean, all of that can be generated via AI. And so, yeah, that definitely lessens the time for businesses to launch stuff and get stuff out there. So, yeah, really, really powerful stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of excited just to see where everything is going to go. Where are we going to be 5 years, 10 years? I mean, are these things going to be, I mean, it's really hard to say, at what level it's going to be there. But yeah, I know we're going to be in it for some interesting days. And for e-commerce specifically, I think if it's usually utilized correctly, yeah, it can only be a benefit, for businesses to grow. And again, it's just like anything. It's either they get on board now and adopt it, or they're just going to be behind in the future. I think for a while, businesses, when the internet started to take off and online retail and online selling took off, as we've seen, a lot of businesses, were slow to adopt these changes. And, we kind of see where they are today. Like I said earlier, with Bed Bath and Beyond, they were a little bit slow to figure things out with their whole online space. And I think they kind of paid the ultimate price for that, unfortunately. But yeah, we're gonna that's kind of where we're at, and just hopefully businesses kind of take heed and kind of jump on board, sooner than later.
Exactly.
Well, Blake, it's been awesome talking to you. AI is a huge topic, a great area. I've been truly amazed by it. I'm still amazed to this day about how it can possibly do these things at such quick speed. And as we see, it's definitely a great benefit to our business. So I know, to any e-commerce business. And so I know this conversation is hopefully going to add value to all of the e-commerce businesses and the digital marketers that are listening. But lastly, before we do let you go, I always like to switch gears so our audience can get to know you a little bit better. So if you don't mind sharing one closing fun fact about yourself that you think we'd be interested to know.
That's interesting. I guess maybe a couple would be, I'm an avid gamer, love gaming, and created video games, just as a kid. So always done that. And then I'm a huge Georgia Tech fan. So academically, it's always a good year, but football, we're still holding out. So, please have some empathy for me.
No problem. Yeah, that's how it is. A lot of times these teams, takes a while till you get the right mix of players and coaches. And, there's a lot in the whole recipe to winning that I think that makes the team get to that top level. But yeah,
it's an engineering school too. So, I mean, maybe we're just overthinking it.
Yeah, you never know. Yep. I was, my background is computer engineering. So I definitely know as an engineer, we can tend to overthink things, and maybe that's it. Yep. You never know. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. Gaming is also a huge space as well. And it's really amazing how AI is also going to be used to help, on the online gaming space and the creation of games and all of this media. So that's just a whole nother area, but that's another discussion for another time. But I know you're kind of looking at that.
Hey, principles are the same there. If anyone's, wondering, I know Meta came and went, and now we're like, what is that? But even with like NFTs, if you played like any games where you purchase things or Roblox, that's a great example.
Yep, true for sure. Well, awesome, Blake. Thank you for sharing that. And lastly, before we do let you go, if you don't mind letting our listeners know the best way for them to get in contact with you if they want to pick your brain anymore regarding AI and how it can be used to benefit their e-commerce businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Please engage with me on social media. That's probably the easiest way. On Twitter or LinkedIn, send me a request. Happy to chat, collaborate, share notes, anything I can do to help. And we're always actively involved with ATDC outside of Georgia Tech down in Atlanta. Anybody can come. We have events down there.
That's awesome. Great. Well, I definitely encourage people to check you out and look you up on social media. Definitely have the links to your website in the show notes as well, Proto AI. And it's been a pleasure talking to you, Blake. We really appreciate you coming on to the E-Commerce Marketing Podcast.
Thank you so much, Arlen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Ecommerce Marketing Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share it with everyone you know. Are you looking to take your digital marketing to the next level but are tired of weeding through countless YouTube videos with unproven and untrusted marketing strategies? Well, we have the answer for you. The More Sales Every Month online digital marketing course. In this information-packed course, you will learn effective keyword research, link building, content marketing, and much more to attract and convert your site visitors into paying customers. Just go to moresaleseverymonth.com and sign up today for a low one-time fee. In addition to this power-packed course, if you would like to get access to a growing repository of digital marketing articles, PDFs, and ebooks, check out getosi.com/resources and opt in to get full access to our library of priceless marketing information to help you take your digital marketing to the next level.